Hey everybody, welcome to our training video on functional communication training. We are group 1, Agnes, Cindy, Melissa, and Megan. So what is functional communication training? Hanley and Bursek called it a differential reinforcement procedure where individuals are taught an alternative response to a target behavior. Who will benefit from functional communication training? Children who have communication defects that can cause maladaptive behaviors as a way for their communicating their wants and needs. Is it a successful strategy? Research has shown that FCT does decrease problem behavior. Ways a child can functionally communicate. They can do it by vocalizing their words appropriately, giving pictures or items of the activity they want, which is commonly known as PECS, or signing and gesturing.
Now we will discuss the ABA guidelines. First, we will talk about the steps to prepare, and then we'll talk about the steps to implement. For the steps to prepare, it's important to identify the behavior. So what does the behavior look like? Is the child tantruming or screaming, crying? So it's definitely important to look at that. Then a behavior analyst will conduct a functional behavior assessment. And then we will identify the function of the behavior, so why the behavior is happening. Is the child trying to escape from an activity? Are they trying to gain access to one? So it's very important to identify why it's happening. Then we will determine the antecedents, so what is happening before the behavior occurs. And then we'll identify the consequences, so what happens right after the behavior happens. Then we will determine the replacement behavior, and we will design a data collection procedure where we will be able to analyze how the students are progressing with the implementation, and then we will prepare the materials. Now we'll talk about the steps to implement. So first, we need to set up the environment where the behavior is most likely to occur. So does the child show the behavior in the classroom during playtime, or do they do it in the cafeteria? Then we will use prompting to support the learner during the functional communication training. We will provide immediate reinforcement when the learner communicates. And then we will repeat the opportunities. So make sure that the child is continually getting multiple opportunities throughout the school day to learn how to communicate effectively. And then we will plan to generalize. So we don't want our learner to just learn the skill of communicating in the classroom. We want them to communicate in the cafeteria, in the hallway, during recess time. So we definitely want to make sure that that skill is generalized. And we will make sure to train staff to respond effectively to the learner. And also it's important for to first reinforce close approximations of communicating, and then we will shape the behavior to how we really want it to look like. And the materials that are needed to implement is to have internet access for images of preferred items, printer, paper, color ink, a laminator, laminating sheets, binders or folders, and Velcro. These things are necessary to have in each of the classrooms. And then data collection is also important for the functional communication training, and the method that we will be using is partial interval recording. So this method is a great way for staff to collect data because it's quick and efficient. And here are some examples that we have where functional communication training may look like using a picture. So if a child is unable to verbalize or vocalize what they want, they can hand a picture, for example, a banana, if they want a banana, and then give it to the staff, and then the staff would provide them with the banana. So these are just some examples that could be used.
We are now going to discuss the school-wide implementation plan. The first phase we will discuss is the exploration phase. Our client is Ellison Preschool. They serve 200 students, and of those 200 students, 150 of them are special education students. The age range that is served is from the ages of 3 to 5 years old. Within the building, there is 20 classrooms, and each classroom consists of a teacher as well as 2 assistants. And the ratio from student to teacher, there's about 8 to 12 students. The teacher and assistants, there's also 4 to 6 daily parental volunteers that are available to help, and they are there to help make copies or go grab something for the teachers or whatever is needed for the day. There in the description, there was 25 students that are nonverbal, and 5 of those students use PECS efficiently, and the other 20 are nonverbal, and they use grunting and pointing as their communication system. Why is change needed? During playtime, there are behavioral issues that are occurring in every classroom at the Ellison Preschool. The problematic behavior usually occurs when a student steals a toy from a classmate. This occurs because the students are unable to request to share with the classmate or to ask appropriately to play with the classmate. This situation leads to fighting and or students throwing a tantrum. The support staff has stated that they feel that they spend most of their day breaking up squabbles and de-escalating tantrums, which really impacts the teacher's ability to teach effectively. If the students were able to communicate with their peers, it could alleviate a lot of behaviors being displayed that are due to a lack of functional communication skills. Our approach, we are addressing the behavioral concerns by implementing a Tier 1 plan focusing on the ideas of functional communication training, or FCT. The Tier 1 intervention will focus on those 20 students identified as nonverbal and that do not have a communication system already in place, as well as targeting the entire school. How will we implement the plan? The training will occur at Ellison Preschool. It will involve all of the teachers, the assistants, the principal, the parents, everybody that's on staff. We will conduct a staff meeting to discuss the plan for the students. We will discuss the steps involved for the implementation as well as goals for training. We will then train the staff on functional communication. We will explain what functional communication training is and just discuss all of the components within it. We will then model implementation of FCT. We will do it personally, or we can also provide a video if needed. Also, if the staff needs extra practice, we will implement practice time for them to partner up with somebody and role play what FCT is, and then we will provide feedback on the spot. Also make sure to stress the importance of everyone implementing the intervention the same way to ensure that the treatments are successful.
The next aspect we're going to talk about is the installation phase. The first part is who will implement the functional communication training, and that will include all of the school staff, including the 20 teachers, the 40 classroom assistants, the 2 speech therapists, the occupational therapist, physical therapist, the principal, the BCBA that's on staff, and the daily parent volunteers that come in and out of the building. And then how will Ellison Preschool use our intervention? All the staff members will implement the functional communication training, and that is, of course, after the training has taken place. The main focus will be on the 20 students that are unable to communicate functionally. The intervention will typically take place during free play and outside time, which is when the behaviors are more likely to occur, with toys and wanting things that they don't know how to communicate for. And throughout the day, the staff will be encouraged to have the students exchange their picture cards to increase those functional communication skills and to generalize. There are also some extra resources listed on the following slide. There's a review and practical guide of the functional communication training, an overview, and a guide to implement the procedures. And then our references are also listed at the end. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you.